Thanks, Grant. Hello, everyone. Workforce management is a cloud-based software integrated into the advanced payroll site. And they've got the functions of employee onboarding, rostering, mobile app, etc. Today, I will walk you through these key functions in workforce management. Our special guest, Julia, will also present to us about the advanced payroll site. We will work together to give you a clear view about how these two systems could ultimately make your life easier. This is at the moment when we log into the workforce management. In the upper left corner, we can see the location. It is the company location which has been pre-configured in your system. Below that, we can see some reminders. You may find them annoying, but they are absolutely important to your business. Some reminders such as the employee requirement. These are the expired licenses, qualifications, and visa reports for some of your employees. Other reminders such as unapproved leave requests, unapproved timesheets, etc. Below that, we may see several graphs suggesting different key information about your business, such as employee lateness reports. On the right-hand side is today's staff, showing who have been rostered, who are on shift, and who have finished for the day. Now let's talk about onboarding. Whenever we get an ideal candidate who's happy to sign a contract, the first thing to do is usually onboarding to meet the legal requirements. Workforce management allows some generic and specific onboard setup. And I think HR professionals will really love it because it really streamlines the onboarding process and avoid cutting their fingers with a paper cut. Now let's look at the onboarding settings. Under company settings, onboarding settings, in here, we could specify the qualifications and reports that we ask the employees to upload during the onboarding process. Below that, we can also customize the superfund information as well as the invite message, which we will convey to the employee in their onboarding email. Another function in the system is called onboard settings. In this page, we could upload the documents that we require our employees to view and sign during the onboarding process. There are some substituted fields provided here. For example, when during the onboarding process, this message will be conveyed to the employee during the onboarding process together with this document. This field will be replaced by the employee's actual name. Below that, we can see that we can also customize the permissions for this document by specifying the location and position of this document. For example, this job description will only be shared to the employee who have been hired for this role. Now let's do an end-to-end onboarding process to invite a new hire to join our company. In this page, we need to enter the details of our potential employee so that this employee can receive their onboarding email in their personal email account. We need to provide the employee name, email address, position, location. Below that, we can see the permission group. Permission group in the system refers to the employee as a user, what they can do and can see in workforce management. There are some default permission group set up already in the system, such as administrator, employee, manager, etc. But we could always customize the permission group based on your business requirements. Below that, we can specify the employee entity, employment type, pay information, reporting manager, commencement date. In this customer document area, we need to upload the document which is quite specific for this individual employee only, such as their employment contract. Once we click send, employee will receive an onboarding email like this in their personal email account. This theming, color, and logo are customizable. Employee could simply click in this, go to onboarding to access the onboarding portal. When the employee click this sign, they will accept the job details. The system captures the IP address of the employee, which will be categorized as electronic signature, both in Australia and New Zealand. Give consent to terms and conditions. In this page, employee need to provide their personal details. I have pre-populated the basic employee information of our Mr. Sample today. In this page, our employees could upload their personal identification documents, such as their driver's license. In this page, employees could upload the qualifications which is required for this role, such as forklift driver license, criminal clearance, COVID jab certificate, etc. In this page, employee can do TFN declaration and Medicare levy declaration without submitting any manual form. In this page, employee can provide their bank details with a split of allocation of amount or a percentage. In this page, employee can provide their superannuation details. This database is linked to the ATO lookup for the super database. Medical emergency contact of this employee. In the end, we can access the documents which we have uploaded for this employee during the onboarding process. Employee needs to be patient and read through these documents because these are quite crucial for them. Once we click submit, the employee will receive an then email like this. This will direct the employee to download the mobile app so they can start clock on and clock off. At the same time, the master file of this employee will be pushed through to advanced payroll side and workforce management. Julia is the payroll administrator in our sample company today. Now let's welcome Julia to introduce to us what she will do and what she can see once the employee has been onboarded. Over to you, Julia.
Thank you so much, Sophia. Hi, everyone. We will go through the payroll side of things after we've onboarded someone from workforce management. Once they've been onboarded from workforce management, you'll come into here to your payroll and your person will be here already, but inactive. So there's two ways of doing this. Normally, the payroll administrator will get an email, which we can set up through the system to say that someone has been onboarded and that they should go and check their details. Or if they're like quite a few companies where the payroll administrators does everything, they would already know and they could just come straight here and do what needs to be done. With the employee information, we would go to the employee pay details. Because they've been onboarded through workforce management already, they've come through to be paid. So here we are on the employee payment details. Here under the onboarding actions, if there is a review here, you would need to go and have a look. And basically what it says here is that the superannuation fund has not been found in the system. So this means that this person has got a new superannuation provider that is not in the payroll. At this stage, it would be best to go through your superannuation providing details, again, linked to the ATO website, pull down and add the provider, and then you can go back to your person and you can activate and onboard them. So if we go back to Mr. Sample, we can immediately say that we are onboarding the person and we need to activate that employee. At this stage, because I'm a payroll person, I'm going to go through all this information with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that everything is correct as far as I can see. If it is not, you'll need to get hold of the employee. Pay distribution information has been pulled through. The taxation information will be pulled through with the correct TFN number. As Stephen already said in his previous segment, TFN declarations for Single Touch Payroll Phase 2 do not need to be submitted anymore and will be submitted as part of Single Touch Payroll Phase 2. Once I've done all the information here, I will add the employee's pay group. And I know most of you already do this. I can either add a salary or a standard rate, and that will feed through to your standard pay. Once I've set up my standard pay, which should include things like leave accruals and superannuation, and any other standard deductions and earnings, I will be able to save the employee and they're ready to be paid. So Sophia, back to you to finish that for me, please, so that I can get on with paying the people once you've run them through their time and attendance side of things. Back to you, Sophia.
Thanks, Julia. That's very attention to details. So at the same time, I've logged in as one of our sample employees' mobile app. Let's go through these key functions in the system. Firstly, if we click on this roster tile, it will show us the upcoming rosters of this employee. This leave and availability icon allows us to view the upcoming and historical leave dates which has been submitted by this employee. Apparently, I'm a very naughty employee. I have been constantly taking holidays here. I'm going to continue to apply for a new request here. I can just specify the date for this leave and specify the leave type in here. Once this system has gone live, the entitlements for this leave type will be synced through to mobile app. Employers can choose to share this with the employees or not. At the same time, we could also specify the minimum balance for this leave type when the employee is applying. For example, some of the employers may not want to share the sick leave entitlements with the employee, but at the same time, they don't want them to use the leave balance when it becomes negative. So we can put a zero balance in there. It means when the employee's leave balance becomes negative or zero, the employee's leave request will be rejected by the system automatically. We have to specify a note here. Say, and in here, we could also upload the supporting documents, such as the medical certificate for this leave request. Click Next, Submit. This sick leave request will be sent through to the manager for approval. In this Documents tile, employees can view the documents which has been shared from their managers. Employees can view their payslips under this Payroll tile. In Clock In and Clock Off tile, employees can start clock in and clock out. Facial recognition is supported. Let's do a clock in and clock out together. Remember, smile to start your day. Take a photo. These clock in entries will be sent through to the timesheets under the manager's approval. Now, let's quickly jump back into the workforce management. If we move back to the roster page, this can be shared with managers and the administrators. We could view this page in terms of different time range or by different criteria, such as location or by employee. Managers could assign this employee a roster by clicking this plus icon, but that's for an individual employee. We could also update the employee's roster in bulk. There are several options. For example, we could add the standard hours which have been set up in the employee smart file to this roster page. Or we could copy the shifts from the previous period to the upcoming date range. Another very useful function in general payroll practice is the template to work in conjunction with the smart roster. If we click on roster of the templates, let me show you the templates in here. In here, we could specify the shift requirements such as position, location, and the requirements of qualifications for your employees. Then let's apply for this template together. Click Apply. Specify a starting date for this template. Then we could use Smart Roster now. The system will compare the employee master file information with the requirements of the shift, which has been specified in the template. Only the employee meeting the specific requirements will be allocated for this roster. Now let's move to leave function page here. In here, managers could edit, approve, and decline the leave request, which has been sent through from the employee's mobile app. Managers could also apply for leave on behalf of the employees under him. Once the leave request has been approved, this leave request will be sent through to the timesheet section. In here, managers could access, edit, approve, and decline the timesheets which has been sent through from the employee's mobile app. For example, their clock on and clock off entries, or their leave request which has been approved. Managers could do a bulk approval for this employee. You may need a higher level managers to do the authorization for these payments. Then the HR or the payroll administrator could commit these timesheets to payroll and add to a payroll. Once this timesheet has been added to a payroll, we have set up these some payrolls based on the award interpretation of these companies. In the award interpretations in here, we have specified the different conditions based on the the working hours of the employee, such as the overtime, casual loadings, etc. Once this timesheet has been put to the payroll, we can see that the award interpretation will apply here. Once the payroll administrator has checked everything and clicked finalize for these timesheets will be synced through to advanced payroll site in 1 minute. And now let's welcome Julia to show us what she will see and what she can do once this timesheet has been synced through to the advanced payroll site. Over to you, Julia.
Thank you very much again, Sophia. I'm glad you got everybody sorted out. Now it's time for us to pay them. And here we are back in payroll. I know most of you have seen this screen many times. So what I'd like to do is show you workforce management syncs with payroll automatically. From here, the timesheet batches is where it would go in. We would go into our timesheet batches and make sure that we have no issues in terms of the items being data mapped or linked with the correct employees and the correct pay items. As long as I'm happy with that and the dates, I'm ready to run payroll. I'll go to payroll. I'm going to go and create my pay run. I can pick from many pay runs, many groups. Each company, each tenant, as a matter of fact, can have as many pay groups as you want. Each tenant can have more than one company. You can have pay groups for individual companies. You can have one pay group across many companies. It just depends on how many employees you're paying and how you like to run your business. I'm going to run a fortnightly pay. Always check your pay period start and end dates. Always check your physical pay date. That's very important for single touch payroll. I'm going to say okay here, and anybody who is linked to that pay group in the master file will now be brought into that pay run. Just waiting for it to bring everybody in. And once it's done, I will see all my information. There's my green tick. Just a quick check. On this main screen here, it's like a little audit. You'll be able to look at your gross taxable tax and total net there already. I can see who created it. I can see who last edited it. When I go into my pay run, it'll bring up all the employees that are linked to the pay run and what they would normally get paid if we weren't importing anything or paying them any extra. This is a little feature that I don't think many people seem to know about, but if I click on that button here, I can put a little pay message in here and that payslip message will appear on everyone's payslip. I can also check and change any information here before I start running my payrolls. If I wanted to import from workforce management or indeed any time and attendance system, I would click on actions and say import timesheets. At this stage, it will go all through all the information and import any information from workforce management or from my timesheet batches. It doesn't mean that because I've done that, I can't go and change anything. I can still go onto an employee. I can still pay them extra. If this person came running in and said, oh my God, I forgot to put in my overtime, here we go. And we can just add a couple of hours overtime. Goodness gracious, all sorted out very quickly. I can then go to any employee here. I can add extra leave if necessary, or any extra deductions. It doesn't mean that because I've imported it, I can't make any changes. I can absolutely make any changes. From here, I can also extract my information into Excel. As Nick already spoke about GIs, the generic inquiries are very, very strong in advance, and it's the same with advanced people. I also have just some standard reports that I can print out and have a look at. We have written many reports. I'm sure all your partners have written reports for you. Once I've checked my reports, get that signed off, click back onto the blue hyperlink. That'll take me back to the payroll. So that's another little tip. Any of these blue options that you see here are actual hyperlinks, whether they be to an employee, a pay item, a pay run, or to a report. Obviously, once I've checked my payroll, which we all do, we go and check our payrolls, get it signed off, and we're ready to pay employees. At this stage, I'll click on process. Once I've hit that button, this is it. I can either cancel or complete the pay run. If I say okay, it will process my pay. I can then complete or cancel. I'm going to complete the pay run. Once I hit the complete button at this stage, you will get a message come up that tells you that it's going to submit to Single Touch Payroll. You will click and sign off that message, no problem, and it will send your information to the ATO via STP. After it's sent to Single Touch Payroll, it is going to create my batches for my ABA files. Some of you might need them to be approved. Otherwise, you would just export the ABA file. It would create a bank file. There we go. You would upload it to the bank and pay your employees. Once you've uploaded it and the file has gone through the bank, click on the release button and this will send the batch to your journals in the finance side of things. With that being done, everything has gone to Single Touch Payroll. What I always recommend to people is give it half an hour, go to the Manage Single Touch Payroll submissions and just confirm that the submission has gone through. You would have a whole bunch of batch numbers in here for you to check, and it's very grayed out, but you would be able to click on one and click on the word check submission status. Always recommend that you do that because then it will come back to you immediately and tell you if you've got any problems with your batch going through to Single Touch Payroll. Also, what we can do through Advance is you can upload your superannuation batch either to an outside clearinghouse or to MYOB through their Pay Super portal. And that is payroll in a nutshell. If you need us, you know where we are. Thank you very much.